A very good afternoon to all of you, dear friends. Welcome to the show New View. On 11th of October, Sunday, we are back with you. And today, the topic is power dressing. We all do dress. We all want to look good, feel good. And our dressing also show our attitude. So today's show is about how we dress to power, how we reflect what we are, who we are, and who better than the best of the best in our country, Retired Lieutenant Dr. Rita Gangwani. I'll introduce you to her in a while, but before we start with her, I would like to introduce Mr. Harish Mehta, our co-host as always with us. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Sanjay. Great pleasure to be back every Sunday together with a new speaker, listening, learning, growing, and engaging with them and sharing with our people how all of us can grow with the wisdom that our speaker gives us every week, week on week. And we are almost 5 months old now, and I'm
Yeah.
enjoying this new you. Brilliant. Thank you again for inviting me. Pleasure.
Awesome, 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 sir. Thank you, thank you, thank you for coming. So today we have a celebrity with us, and she has done a lot of work for the country, and we are very proud and privileged to have on our stage. So today our guest is Lieutenant Dr. Rita Gangwani. She's the founder of RIGAHAUS. She is a President of India awardee, honored by the World Book of Records, and earned her laurels in the personality development coaching for many well-known podium winners nationally and internationally. She is a well-known corporate trainer and has groomed teams of Fortune 500 companies. She educates and inspires with a respect, with a perfect blend of wisdom, razor-sharp insight, and humor. The multi-gifted motivational speaker, TEDx speaker, Joe speaker, author, pageant coach, etiquette consultant, actress, author, healer, entrepreneur, and above all, a coach who exactly understands what is holding you back from your true success and how you can overcome your inner blocks. She's been honored with the World Book of Records for her contribution in the field of personality development. For her thinking, she made it to the top 10 thinkers of India list. Himachal Gaurav Samman, Jewel of India, and many, many more. I think I'll need one whole day to go through her laurels and awards. A great applause to her, big applause. And she's an BSc Armed Force Medical from Armed Force Medical Board, one of the first lady army officers from HP in MNS Corps. I think the list is on. Wow. And then let me come to this. She's also an author and has worked with many, many global people. She's on board with Miss Bhutan, Supermodel Nepal, Mrs. and Miss Asia, Mrs. India UK, Miss India America, and many, many more. So let me welcome Lieutenant Rita Gangwani to the screen with us.
Hi, good
Good
evening,
afternoon,
everyone.
ma'am.
In fact, yeah, afternoon. But we are almost approaching the evening. Good afternoon, come good evening to all of you.
Good afternoon, madam. Welcome to the show
Thank you, sir.
and looking forward to share your wealth of knowledge
Thank you, sir.
with the people who join us every Sunday this time. And we have some great followers, some great following who would love to learn from your experiences and also what you give them today. I'm sure they would like to do for the rest of their life.
Thank you,
Brilliant.
sir.
Looking
Thank you
forward.
for inviting. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So, ma'am, we have followers started. This show we started when the pandemic started. And that was where me and Harish, we went together and thought what we can give to the community while we are facing various challenges.
Right.
So the program we titled as The New View. That is for the people who are willingly investing in themselves and getting prepared to face the bigger situation, the better situation, and in a much controlled manner so that they can design their life better.
Yeah.
And we have been calling great personalities like you to the session. And we have now people who are responding right from Australia to Singapore to Middle East and even from Canada and US. So the best part of our program is the people. Thank you, ma'am. The best part is the people sometimes, we are hosting it on Facebook and YouTube. There are a lot of responses which come on YouTube later, where people want to know and connect. So we are 100% sure that our efforts will reach to the desire and the needful people.
Right.
So welcome to the show, ma'am, again. And stage is all yours.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, so I'll be sharing the screen. I'm still learning. Just a minute.
That's fine.
Okay. Oops, I'm still not getting it. Yeah, I think here it is.
Yeah, it's there.
It's there?
No. Yeah, you can pick the window.
No, so many windows open. Oh my God. Never mind, if I can't share, then I will just go extempo. But I did try before I came on screen.
That's okay.
Just give me
We
one
can go to
second.
the share screen, and then you have to go to the tab where it says add window, the second one.
Share tab.
The next
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. Is it okay?
Yeah, there you are on the screen.
Okay, right. Hi, good evening and good afternoon once again. The topic today is power dressing. And a lot of people think, that nowadays no one wears power dressing. I mean, what are you going to talk about, or what is actually happening about power dressing? So I just wanted to give you a bit of a knowledge that even though the trends are changing with modern times, on one side you may find somebody in a three-piece suit, on the other side you would find somebody with a hooded jacket and comfortable lowers. But it's very important that it shows your attitude, it shows your professionalism. It's not necessary to be absolutely that way or absolutely this way. You can always find a midway. But if you are a traditional kind of a person, I think power dressing is something you would love to enjoy, because I feel power dressing is like it's like a electricity switch. So the moment you are power dressed, you switch on your professional mode, and the moment you are out of it into your civil dress or into your casuals, you are into your personal zone. So I feel it's kind of a divider between your personal and professional life, and since I have been following it for years together, I think I'm very much in for it, and I love power dressing. So welcome to the concept about power dressing. A lot of people wonder, what is power dressing? So let me first give you an insight. What is power dressing? So the definition says that power dressing refers to the style of clothing and hair, not exactly hair, but you can say grooming, to make wearers seem authoritative. It shows that you have some power, competent, your professionalism, especially in a professional setting. And when people advise you to dress for a position you thrive for, they say it rightly, as power dressing has a major impact on your career. So a lot of people think, how does it impact? So I would say that, let's say there is a special kind of a culture in an organization and everybody dresses in a specific way. So if there is a vacancy somewhere up there where a person would fit into that and looks just like you and you look just like that person who was there, maybe they will pick you up and put you up there. So they always say that dress up for the position you want rather than the position you have. Not only dressing, but your style, confidence, your body language, and the way you carry everything matters a lot. So it's a whole package. I will explain it to you how it matters as we go further. So did you know that more than half of the workplace have their own dressing code? A lot of organization, for example, if you see a government organization, they go for more of ethnic wear, band galas and stuff. Whereas if you go for a typical global company, they would follow something which is more international. And there are some organization where they have their own kind of a power dressing. Maybe they would put a specific thing on their ties, or maybe on the shirt, a specific kind you have to wear. I'll explain it as we go further. So today's workplace is not as strict, as I said, as it used to be in terms of workplace attire, but now since they are relaxing. But there is always an undercurrent that you have to look professional. So whatever you pick up, just use your judgment that it looks professional, and as well it's comfortable and maybe more trendy. It may not be a very rigid kind of an attire, but try to stick to the basic norm that you are representing an organization, you're representing your professionalism through your dress, and it's important to know what to wear and how to wear. So a peek into a power dressing, we people used to say dress to impress, but nowadays people say dress to express. That means you express to the people what kind of a personality you are, what are your likes and dislikes, what kind of a work you do, what kind of a professional level you are. A lot of things are judged by your dressing. So I will just quickly come to the main point which I want to discuss. First, remember that you care, because when you are just dressed in a very haphazard manner, people wonder whether you actually care about the job or whether you actually care about who you are. So important thing is tell people that you dress because you care. Then dress suitably. It's very important. You all must be aware there are white collars, there are blue collars, there are pink collars, and there are all kinds of collars, and the different industries how they dress up. So always keep in mind the kind of industry you work for, the kind of company you work for, the kind of work environment they have. It's better to observe the people around and see whether you are merging into them or you completely standing out like a sore thumb. Because it should not even be that you completely are somebody who's non-fitting, and then of course then people will not be able to take you very seriously. So always be well groomed, because today I'll be just talking about the dressing sense, but the entire dressing also accompanies your grooming. That is how your hair is, how whether you shaved or not, and about your nails, about your makeup if you are a girl, and about the kind of accessories you wear. A whole lot of package has to be looked into. I will be telling you as much as I can in this limited time. So understand the importance of fit. Very, very important. A lot of people go buy their suits and their shirts from the market, and sometimes it's not actually exactly fitting to your entire body. Sometimes it's too loose or sometimes it's too tight. But it's very important to look comfortable, to look confident, to look in sync with who you are. It's best that you find clothes which fit you very, very well. It make you feel very comfortable, and maintain consistency in your style. You cannot be just wearing something one day and something entirely opposite the second day, and something very different the third day. So if you really want to keep that power going, you have to maintain consistency in how you dress up. So let me explain how this power dressing actually matters. I'm sure you all must have heard of this term called impression. Now, what is an impression in simple term? You can say impression is an impact you leave on the psyche of people. So when people see you, the way they perceive you, the way they understand you, it leaves an impact on their brain, and their behavior with you depends on the kind of impact you leave on their brain. So there is a very important thing which is called power of first impression. So let me explain in a very, very simple term. How do you make strong impressions? If you actually look at a mobile camera, and when we click pictures in a mobile camera, what we do, we just fix it like that, and then we focus, and then there is a click button. You click the click button, and the picture of that person gets stored in the camera. Exactly like this, there is a camera on human body. Eyes are the lenses which are focusing on you. The brain is the hard disk which is storing the information. So the question is, where is that click button of human camera? We actually click that button when we are looking at a person and capturing their picture in our psyche. Now, where is that click button on the camera? It's the blinking of your eye. The moment you blink, the picture of that person gets stored in your brain. So the question comes, how much time does it take to create first impression? Well, it takes just 2 to 5 seconds to create first impression. A lot of people say, you just said a blink, so it should be milliseconds, it should be seconds. But let me tell you, nobody blinks in a second. So people take some time to blink. So it is between 2 to 5 seconds. And how very unfortunate for us. God has given us only 2 to 5 seconds to create first impression. And once that impression is made, it might take the entire lifetime to erase that impression, because you cannot create first impression twice. It cannot happen that you enter a room and you feel my impression didn't go well, let me go out and come back again. Maybe I'll be able to make a better impression. It is just not possible, because first impression is the last impression. So we have only 2 to 5 seconds to leave an impact on somebody's mind. And if we miss out on these 2 to 5 seconds, sometimes people will not even want to communicate with you. Though, we even buy a book by looking at a cover, though it's very unfortunate, it shouldn't be. Maybe the book is full of knowledge, but people don't even open that book because they don't like the cover. Another example I can give you is that I take you to a shop, and on the shelf you will see there are about 50 soaps. Not even a single soap is branded. You don't know anything about those soaps. And there are 50 soaps on the shelf. And I tell you, go and pick up one soap out of these. Which one will you pick up? Naturally, you'll pick up the one whose package is very attracting. If the package attracts you, you will pick up that soap only. The same formula applies in our lives. If we are packed well, people will buy us. If we are not packed well, people will ignore us. So it's very important that we understand that it's not just your qualification or the job or the position which matters. It also matters how do you pack yourself. Very, very important part. So first impression takes 2 to 5 seconds, and you never get a second chance to create first impression. Now, how first impressions are made, I told you that people look at you and they make an impression. So when they look at you, what happens? 55% they look at you and make an impression. And when somebody is looking at you, there are certain things which are very visible, and they will take notice of that. I will just explain it to you in a while. So out of 100% communication, 55% people are visually looking at you and making an impression. 38% they judge you by the quality of your voice, the way you speak, your pitch, your language, your inflection, your tone, your rate of speech, the kind of dialect you use. So 38% people judge you by the quality of your voice. And believe me, when people meet you for the first time, it's only 7% they are actually listening to you. It happens with all of us. We go to a party, we meet somebody new, we speak to this person for 2 hours. And once that person leaves, we say, oh, what was his name? Because we were so busy with the 55% that we missed out on the name. So 55% out of 100 people judge you visually. So, if you are able to impress somebody visually, you have already passed the exam. 55% marks you already got. If you work a little more on your communication skills, you will definitely pass with distinction. So, it's very important that we understand the power of dressing, and most important, the power of power dressing. So, you must always look the part which you're going to play in any kind of a profession. So when you are in a professional environment, you will come across four terms. When we talk about power dressing, you will come across four terms which are very widely used in an organization. And these are called the dress codes. So first one is called the business formal. So maybe you receive an invitation from your office, and down there on the card it's written dress code business formal, and you must know what it is. The second term you must be should be aware of, business professional. The third is business casual or semi formals. Now again, business casuals and semi formals, normally now people name it as Friday dressing, because the whole week people are sick and tired of wearing very crisp kind of a dress, so they just want to relax. But you must remember, even if you're relaxing, you're still in a professional environment. Hence the term business casual, that you should look more business like but also little casual, or semi formal, that means you look formal but yes, little formal, little casual and little formal. So the term came semi formal, and a lot of people take it for granted and they land up at the office wearing very wrong things. I'll just be explaining it to you. The third term you will see is casual, and casual is something which we wear maybe when we go shopping, when we go for picnics, and this too comes handy sometimes in office when you have a function where you're going to the site, or where you're going for some kind of a office entertainment kind of a stuff outside. Then maybe the business term will be casual. So first and foremost, you must understand why why is this something called power dressing? What is the purpose? A lot of students come and ask me, ma'am, I love colors, but when I go to office, I'm only told you can wear grays and blacks and very earthy colors, and I don't like wearing such colors. Why can't I wear red? Why can't I wear yellow? Why can't I wear parrot green? So you must understand what is the purpose of business attire. The first is, in business, clothing or grooming should not distract. So when you are at the office, there should be anything which distract the attention of a person who wants to talk to you. And secondly, when people focus on your face, they listen and communicate better. So it's better that you wear something which is very neutral. So the entire focus is on communication. And in communication, there are two or three things which are most important. That is your face, your eyes, and your hands. And that's a part of your body language, which I might cover some other time. So that is the purpose of business wear. And that is why business wear colors are very dull, and maybe a lot of people don't like it, but this is how it is. So let's come to shirts first. What is a formal shirt? A lot of people uh, don't understand the term. What is a formal shirt? They go to the market, and the salesperson, they say, okay, formal shirt, and they will give you any color or anything. But you have to understand two. I will always tell you in this entire thing, I'll tell you two things to identify. So two things to identify as formal shirt. How do you identify formal shirt? First, it is always full sleeves with cuffs. And second, it always has a hard collar. It always has a hard collar. So very important, when you go to pick up a formal shirt, first thing you have to see, it has a cuff, full sleeves, and it has a hard collar. A lot of people now, there are a lot of shirts which have buttons on the collar, and the collar is very soft. A lot of people, when I come and ask them, so why do you have that shirt? I mean, like, why are you wearing this shirt with the buttons on the collar? And they say, maybe this keeps my tie intact, and it keeps my collar intact. But do you actually know that kind of a shirt falls in semi formal? Now, there is a story behind it, that long time back, when we were being ruled by the Britishers, they brought to India a lot of games. So they were bringing polo to India, and polo is a game where you sit on the horses and you play something like a hockey. And so they were wanting to start that game in India because they got it to India, and all those officers were wanting to play that game. So the polo horses are very, very sturdy, very, very healthy and very good quality horses. So when they were shipping those horses from abroad to India, and those days we only had maybe ships or something to get larger stuff to India. So most of them used to get sick, or they used to die en route. So they thought, how do we get hold of some good horses for this game? So somebody told them that, that there is this Maharaj of Patiala, and he has in his stable some wonderful horses. Why don't you go and ask him to lend you horses for this game? So they went to the king and they said, okay, we want your horses. And king said, okay, fine, I'll give you my horses only on one condition, that whatever your uniform you decide for this game should be more Indian, because I'm giving you Indian studs, so the uniform should be Indian. So Britishers said, no, 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 how is that possible? It's our game. So they came to a compromise. Let's have a semi-formal dress. So the shirt became formal and the trousers became Jodhpurs, which is very Indian. So the very first day when the jockeys were on the run on the horses, because the collars were hard and there was a lot of air as they, play the games, the collars used to fly and it used to cut their chin. So what they did, just so that the collars don't hurt you, they put buttons on the collar and started calling it semi-formal shirts. So basically those buttons were there so that the collars don't fly. But a lot of people, a lot of companies nowadays sell it as a formal shirt. But I would suggest that if you are dealing with the European culture, best would be, when you go for a business meet, try avoid wearing those button wala shirts. You never know how a person looks at you. Now in shirts, go for lighter colors. Again, professional colors could be white, could be sky blue, could be off white, could be light gray. And if you don't like plain, maybe you can go for stripes. But when you go for stripes, always remember there are two types of stripes. One is called pin stripe and one is called chalk stripe, and they are all vertical lines. Both are perfectly formal, very nice. So you decide which kind of a stripe you want to go. But remember, stripes should not be multicolored. Just stick to two colors on your stripes. Squares or squares and squares are not considered very formal because they create a psychedelic effect. So somebody is wearing that shirt, and if you're trying to communicate from the corner of the eyes, you will feel that the squares are moving and it is very, very distracting. So avoid checks as formal. And of course, you can go for pinstripe, you can go for chalk stripes, and small checks. A lot of people try to wear it on semi-formal days. Fine, on a semi-formal you can wear it, but keep the checks as small as possible. Not big checks and big colorful checks. That won't work for a very formal look. Again, as I said, this norm was there once upon a time. People were very hardcore about power dressing. Things are now changing. But when I have given you the guideline, when you pick up your power dress, be a little conservative, be a little conscious that you have to look businesslike as well as little casual for your comfort according to the modern times. But what I'm telling you is very hardcore. So if you belong to that kind of organization, they would expect you to dress accordingly. But as I'm saying, people are now slowly moving towards comfort wear rather than this rigid wear, which used to be power dressing. Now, again, if you pick up a tie, do not pick up a tie which is of the same color as your shirt, because the purpose of the tie is to show more power, and it has to always be contrast rather than of the same color. There was a time it was in fashion, but always remember, fashions come and go, but trends stay forever. Now, the most powerful combination which actually shows power is a crispy white shirt with a hard collar, full sleeved shirt, and your cuffs, and preferably a tie of the red family. A red family tie is considered to be very, very powerful. Pick up any newspaper, look at Economic Times, look at all these powerful gentlemen around the world, and even ladies nowadays wear ties. It's up to them, their personal style. So you would see the red ties, the red family ties, or the maroon ties, or anything red on the tie at the eye level. Maybe a stripe, maybe a logo, maybe a polka dot, or something red on the tie gives a lot of power to your tie. So just be very careful when you pick up. I'll come on ties in a little while, just to give you an idea that how you power dress. A banded collar shirt may be worn, but only if sports coat or a business suit is worn along with it, not just simply like that. Now, a lot of girls also wear. Now, what I'm saying about this power dressing is Western dress is both for men and women. Nowadays in the corporate, a lot of women also wear the power dress. So in girls, many a times they don't like tucking their shirt in like men do. So if you don't want to tuck your shirt, you can wear it out. But remember, if you're wearing your shirt out, it should be cut round from the corner. It should have a round cut from the corner. Men, if you wear a shirt, you have to tuck it in properly. And when you tuck it in, sometimes it is loose from one side and tight from one side. So how do you actually tuck your shirt in properly? So just first put your shirt in inside your trousers and then raise your hand. And when you raise your hands, it will come out equally from all sides, and then you put your belt so that it is uniform from all the sides. Men cannot wear shirts out like this, and if you wear shirts outside like this, it will fall more in semi formal or maybe even casual wear. So tuck your shirts in, that's very important. Now let's come down to the trousers. Now the rules say, the power dressing rule says that the trousers should be dark in color and the shirt has to be light in color. A lot of people wear otherwise, they make the shirt dark and the trousers light. Again, I'm saying again and again, modern times, things are changing. You pick your own choice, but be very careful what you are wearing, because it will affect how people look at you. So when we talk about trousers, trousers have to be straight cut. Avoid bell bottoms, avoid bootlegs, avoid very skinny kind of trousers. It has to be straight cut for a professional look. Again, you will find two kind of trousers. One is called pleated trousers, which has a pleat just below the belt, and the second one is straight front trouser, which doesn't have pleat. Both are normal, there is no problem in both of them. Only thing is, if you're slightly healthy, best is to go for a straight front pant. But if you are slightly on a weightier side, then best is, if you are thin, go for pleated pants, and if you're slightly weighty, go for a straight front pant. Again, two things. How do you identify a formal trouser? Two things. One, a formal trouser will always have a crease in the center, a pressed crease in the center. So if there is no crease on the trouser, it will go into semi-formal wear. So always see to it that when you go to buy a formal trousers, it should have a maintained crease. And it can only happen if the fabric is maybe a silky wool or stuff like that. This kind of a crease will not stay in all kinds of fabrics. So be little careful when you pick up your trousers. And second important thing, a formal trousers will always have loops for the belt, and I'm talking specifically to the girls here. Nowadays a lot of companies are selling trousers without the loops. Loops are important for the belt because belt is an important ingredient of power dressing. Now the question is, how long should the trouser be? Another question a lot of people ask me, can I wear cuffed pants, the ones which fold from the bottom? Again, it's a trend. Cuffed pant is a trend. It came in fashion some time back, but then it went away. Again, remember to be very find a middle way. Don't go this way or that way. Something which will last forever is a straight cut pant. So how long your trousers should be? It should be long enough that the first laces of your shoes get covered by it. And if it's a girl and she's not wearing lacy shoe, half the heel from the back should get covered by it. If there are too many folds on the trousers, that means it's too long for you. You will have to get it altered. So that was about trousers. And I always prefer that you must have a button on your back pocket, because a lot of men keep their wallets in this packet, in this back pocket, or they keep their combs in this pocket. And sometimes if you don't have a button, stuff juts out and it doesn't look very graceful. So try and have a button in the back pocket, so whatever you put inside stays inside. So that was about shirt and your trousers. Now to give it more power, a lot of people prefer to wear business suits. Now there are only three colors which are considered very powerful. One is black, one is navy blue, and one is charcoal gray. These are the three colors majority people like to wear in the business scenario. But if you don't like plain, you can always go for stripes. And again, remember, it has to be vertical stripes. See to it that these coats which you pick up should not be very flashy with flashy buttons and all kinds of flashy designs on them. Try and keep it as simple as possible, these coats. Again, in this you must understand there is one button, two button, three button, and there is something called blazer, then there is something called a double breasted coat. So which one is formal? All of them cannot be formal, no, right? So always remember, blazers are not formal, they are semi formal. How do you identify a blazer? Always remember, any coat which has metallic button is called blazer. So any coat which has metallic button will go into semi-formal, not into absolute formal. Absolute formal buttons would be exactly the same color as the fabric. So first thing, that when you go to pick up a formal coat, always see to it that it has a cut at the back, which is called vent. There are two different kinds of vents you will find on the coat. One will be in the center, a cut in the center at the back of the coat, or there'll be two cuts on the side. These are called vents, and they are very, very formal and very nice to have on your formal suits. It keeps you easy, it keeps you free, it doesn't make you feel very tight when you wear a coat. So see to it that the coat you pick up should have some vent either on two sides, which is a British style coat, or one in the center, which is the American style coat. Secondly, always see that your coat pocket should have a flap. Try and find a coat which has a flap on the pocket, because we tend to put our hands again and again in the pocket and the pocket looks very dirty. So a flap is something which keeps it looking more neater. Important thing is, when you wear a shirt under your coat, a part of your shirt should be slightly visible from your coat sleeve to give it a more formal look, and a part of your shirt should also be visible above your coat collar to give it more formal look. A lot of gentlemen ask, if I wear a tie, should I put my collars out or should I put my collars in? So if you're wearing a formal a tie, keep your collars in rather than bringing it out. So if you're not wearing a tie, then it's okay if you want to bring out your collars. So this was a bit about the coats which I wanted to tell you. Again, which one would look nice on you depends on your height. If you're short at height, don't go for more than 3 buttons. If you're tall, you can go for 4 buttons, 5 buttons. It's completely your personal choice, but try and go for a formal look, that is black, navy blue, gray, or the stripes in any of these. Avoid fabrics which shine. Doesn't look a very graceful look. Avoid, you have, sometimes you have suits which have satin collars and stuff. Those are fine for a formal evening wear, but not a professional wear to the office. So see to it that you, and yes, a lot of coats you have this pocket. A lot of people use pocket squares in it. I love to use it, though a lot of women don't like to use it, but this is what my USP is. I always have a pocket square and I feel very powerful when I have it. Again, you can match it to your tie, you can match it to your shirt. It's completely your personal choice, but it should stand out. Try not to pick up a pocket square which is exactly same color as your fabric. And please avoid putting flowers on your lapel, because it doesn't look very professional. Maybe you may have the office badge or your designation badge, all that is fine, but try not to wear flowers and brooches and all that stuff in office environment. If it is a formal evening wear, you can of course use all these accessories and stuff on your dress, but in office, try and keep it as simple as possible. To make your dressing more powerful, always have an elegant watch, preferably a metallic watch. A lot of people say, should I wear a leather strap? Well, if it's a very good quality, a very good watch, of course you can. But if you're wearing an ordinary watch with a leather strap, what happens? A normal leather strap looks very cracked. We don't polish it, and it doesn't give a very good look compared to the metallic ones. And again, it's your personal choice whether you want silver or gold. But there is something called uh, something which is appealing to the eyes. So try and sync the colors and try and sync the metals in your dress. So if you have a watch which has silver um, uh, bracelet, maybe you can have a pen which has a silver clip, and maybe when you put it, everything looks very synced, looks nice. But if you have this gold and that silver and that mixed metal, somewhere it's not very appealing to the eye. So if you're really making an effort to have a power dress, then might as well go a little more deeper and try and sync your colors and stuff like that. So, when it comes to shoes, there are two colors which are considered very formal. First and foremost, you must understand that a formal shoe is always with laces. So, if there's no lace on the shoe, it doesn't give that power look. And a lot of people say that I don't like wearing laces, it's so tedious to wear laces. No worries. Nowadays, a lot of companies are coming up with pseudo laces. There's a look, it appears that it has laces, but is actually a slip on. So nobody will be able to find out whether you have actually tied the laces or they are already there on your shoe. So if you feel very tedious to tie your laces, you can always go for pseudo laces. And of course, for your semi formals, you can go for slip on shoes. Choice is yours, the shape of the shoe, the choice is completely yours. Again, depends on what are you wanting to project through your power dressing and through your image. Then the two colors of the shoe which are most formal is black and dark brown. Black goes with all kinds of attires, but brown is difficult to match with a lot of things. So if you are wearing dark brown shoes, be very careful with what you are matching, because it will not go right, it will not look right with all the colors which you wear. So either a black or a brown, and avoid very huge buckles and very big designs and stuff like that. And girls, when you wear shoes, always remember, in girls nowadays they've started coming up with lacy shoes too. But if in case you don't find it in the market, you can go for pumps, but you must have a little bit of heel. Don't go for absolute flat, that will again go into casual. Just have a little bit of heel to give it more of a power look. Polish it well, very very important. But must remember, the shoes which you wear should always be closed toed shoes. I'm saying this specifically to girls. You cannot be seen in office in chappals and sandals with your peep toes showing. Try and go for closed toed shoes. Back may be little open, but the front has to always remain closed to give it a more formal look. Even if you're wearing an Indian attire, whether you're wearing a Western attire, it does not matter. The shoes have to be closed-toed shoes for females. Now comes the tie. As I said, the most powerful ties are red in color or something red on the tie. Always try and pick up silk ties, because silk ties look more formal. They fall better when you wear it rather than satin ties or some other material, because they look a little bulky when you wear it. And again, how do you add more power to the tie? To add more power to the tie, you must always put a dimple under your knot. So when you put a dimple like this under the knot, it adds a little more power to your tie. How long your tie should be? The tip of the tie should touch the tip of your belt, and the tail of your tie should be well tucked in. And when you wear this tie, remember that the knot completely covers the opening between the two collars, so that the strap of the tie is not visible. And this is what is a proper tie. And nowadays girls also they have started wearing ties, I've seen in certain organization. But the only difference is that I find the girl ties are more slimmer compared to boy ties. And yes, a lot of men ask me, how broad should my tie be? I would say that the breadth of your tie, how broad it should be, should not be bigger than your coat lapel. Because if the coat lapel is this much, don't go for a tie bigger than this, then it will not give that kind of a look. So that's a bit about tie. Now coming to the socks, a lot of people are confused. What are power socks? How do I dress professionally? And they sometimes land up in office wearing white socks. Remember, white socks are not formal. Formal socks should match the color of your shoe or the color of your trousers. And men, I would request you, when you go for a sock, please see to it that they should be at least calf length. Don't go for ankle length ones, because men legs tend to be little hairy, and when they cross their legs, sometimes your legs are visible. It doesn't look very graceful. So go for socks which are of calf length. Avoid socks with too many colors and too many geometrical designs. Those are very much in trend, very much in fashion. A lot of youngsters love to wear it. As I said, they are breaking the norm of power dressing, but still, to look professional, I would avoid wearing those kind of, and even having cartoons on your socks or on your ties to be avoided. In ties, go for either plain or very small prints. Avoid animal prints and stuff on your ties as well. So it's important that you keep that part in mind. And as I said about syncing, the color of your shoe should match the color of your belt. So if your shoe is black, your belt is black. And if you have a wallet, try and make it black as well. Sync the things together. So if your belt is brown, your shoe has to be brown, and keep your wallet brown. So sync the colors as well. Then comes the briefcase. A briefcase is a very, very strong symbol of power. So if you wanting to carry a briefcase, the slimmer the briefcase, the more powerful you are. A long time back, leather briefcases were considered more powerful, but nowadays metallic suitcases have come in. Very slim, very sleek metallic suitcases have come in, and people say the slimmer the suitcase, the more powerful you are. And in case you're not going for metallic one and you're going for the leather one, then again I would say sync it to what you're wearing, either black or dark brown, and keep getting it polished so that it appears as graceful as your shoe. Important to keep polishing your shoe as well. A lot of men ask what kind of a jewelry I can wear. Well, a lot of men like to wear jewelry, so what you can wear maybe is cufflinks. But when you wear cufflinks, see to it that they don't have any stones flashing out of them. Wear cufflinks which are metallic, and that too matte metallic, not very shiny. You can wear a tie pin, again metallic, not very shiny, but please do not have these kind of visible piercing. It completely distracts and takes the person onto some other kind of a thought. So please do not have this kind of a jewelry. You can wear ring if you want to, one, two, depends on you, but not too many rings. And nowadays I see a lot of people wear these religious rings, Monday ka alag and Tuesday ka alag and Wednesday ka alag and this planet and that planet. Of course, we can't say anything on a religious thing, but it'll be best that you be discreet. Don't wear so many rings, or maybe combine all the stones in one and wear them together. But try not to, because it doesn't give a very, very professional look. And avoid wearing dog chains, and even when you wear those threads, the black threads and the red threads on your mollies which you wear on your wrist, should not be very visible from your dress. Try and hide them inside. Similar goes for the girls. I'll come to the girls a little more elaborately in a little while. So cufflinks like this would give you a more powerful look. And of course, belts also have to be, try and keep them very simple. Don't have very flashy belts with designer names and stuff, and just keep them as simple. Again, depending, the buckle will depend on the kind of accessories which you have, the gold or the silver. Sync the things so that they are appealing to the eye. And as far as women is concerned, they have the option. They can wear western wear or they can wear Indian wear. Again, depends on the organization they're working for. A lot of people do not allow saris. A lot of organizations don't allow sari or Indian wear. Reason being because they are multinationals, and they feel that when you are in a national costume, and your client is not in the national costume and is in just a western wear, it creates a culture barrier. So a lot of organizations don't allow even salwar kurtas, because they believe a lot of women wear salwar kurtas at home when they're cooking. So when they are in a salwar kurta, they get that casual mode into the office. So a lot of people don't allow that. Again, as I said, it's the culture of your organization. um, it depends from office to office. It's not this that everybody will allow, it's not this everybody won't allow. So it again depends. You have to check out where you're working, what is the office culture. So as I said, girls can also wear western wear, and if you want to wear a sari, please remember not to wear cut sleeves to the office. No cut sleeves to the office. You can wear mega sleeves, you can have 1/4 sleeves, you can have full sleeves. Avoid cut sleeves to the office. No skin exposure, as less skin exposure as possible. And if you're wearing a sari to the office, it should be pinned well. It shouldn't be like flowy, so that all the time you are just taking charge of it, unless you really know how to carry it. And many a times you pick up fabrics like cotton and stuff, which gets totally crushed and just looks horrible by the end of the day. So pick up something which is wrinkle free and which doesn't have very flashy designs. Again, dark in color so that the attention is not on the dress but on you. Very simple prints on them. And of course, as I said, try and pin them up. And in winter, you can always wear coats on them, jackets on them. There are a lot of styles. And if you're wearing a salwar kurta, keep it very, very sober, very traditional styles, very sober styles. And do pin up your dupatta so that you don't have to take charge of them again and again. A lot of people prefer wearing kurtas to the office on semi-formal days. But remember, in semi-formal, if you're wearing a kurta, and even men, if you're wearing a t-shirt on that specific day, please remember to pick up a t-shirt which has a collar. So no round collared t-shirts, and no t-shirts with slogans on them like "My father is an ATM" or any kind of slogan which will be distracting. So collared kurtis girls can wear, maybe a round collar or maybe with the pointy collar. Avoid these kind of psychedelic designs. They completely distract you from what you are. So you can even wear indo-western if you want to in your office, like this, a trouser and a kurta like that to the office. Again, as I said, check out how your organization will be. But something interested I wanted to share with the girls, if they're watching me today, is that, if you're wearing a suit and you add a scarf to it, it gives a lot of power. And the way you carry your scarf also adds a lot of grace to your dress. So I thought I will just demonstrate one very nice way of wearing scarf to the office to give it a very nice look. Remember, girls, just like boys, when you go to pick up a scarf, try and pick up a silk scarf. It fits well, it's softer, and it gives a good look rather than going for chiffons and satins or cotton scarves. So look for a silk scarf. As I said, again, go for a darker color. So here is a square scarf which I'm showing you. It's a square scarf. So what you have to do, you just fold the scarf into a triangle. It's the fan is blowing the wind, so I only hope that I will be able to show it to you. So make a triangle out of this scarf. Okay, so it was a square, I turned it into a triangle, and now at the top of the triangle just put a knot. Men, don't get jealous, but this is something specific for girls. So it looks like this with the knot on the top. So you have two corners of the scarf on two sides as a triangle. So what you do, take this side of the triangle, and from, I'll just demonstrate, give me a second. So take this side of the triangle, and from inside, take it to this side, and this side of triangle from inside, take it to this side. And when you pull it, you get a beautiful rose. You get such a beautiful rose. And you can put this rose here on one side, and then just very nicely you can just tie it up on whichever way. So it looks very nice, this rose. And if it's of a dark color and a small rose, it gives a lot of grace to your dress. And if you don't want to do all this, you can simply hang, just make a little roll out of it and just hang it, and bring a little color to your dull dress by wearing a scarf. Again, for girls, you get these socks which are skin colored and dark colors. Fine, wear them if you want to. Girls, if you're wearing skirts, because they have an option, girls can also wear skirts. So if you wear a skirt, it should be below your knee, and it should also have a vent at the back. And when you wear skirts, it's important to cover your legs with a stocking. Now you get these see-through stockings, which is skin color, dark color. do wear them. We call them pantyhose, and see to it that there are no ladders running inside it and it's in a good condition. And invest in a good leather bag. Like men carry their briefcases, you carry a leather bag with 2 3 zippers outside, where you can keep your business card folders, and where you can put the cards which you received during the day, and well covered with a flap to give it a more professional look. Again, match your belt to the shoe. Girls belts are slightly more thinner. And girls, if you want to wear jewelry, do not wear very flashy jewelry or something which dangles. Wear maybe a thin chain with small pendant, or invest in pearls which look nice in Indian wear as well as in Western wear. So you can invest in that, but nothing which hangs and dangles to distract the attention. So important: light on top half of the body and dark at bottom half. Solid colors are always formal, solid colors always stand out. Vertical stripes are more powerful than horizontal stripes, so go for vertical stripes, preferably in just one or two colors. And then avoid huge flowers, geometrical designs, multicolors in your dress, and dress up suitable to the industry, as I said, company and the environment. And there is a saying: elephants don't bite, but mosquitoes do. Now, what are these little mosquitoes? Even though you're powerfully dressed, you're unable to impress people. Why? Because maybe there was a thread hanging somewhere, maybe a button was missing, which I find a lot of men, when they wear a tie and they feel, this this button can't close because they have become slightly healthy. So they leave it open and they put a tie on top of that, or maybe the button is missing and they think nobody will notice, but people do notice. So this is that little mosquito which will bite you. Or maybe there is a spot on your dress, or sometimes a button was missing in your shirt and you went to your wife and you said, okay, put a button there, and she looks for a similar button, can't find it, little matching color, she still puts it there, and when you wear that shirt, that eyes will zoom right over there and entire impact of your dress will go away. So be careful of these mosquitoes. Maybe your dress, the seams are coming off from somewhere. Or girls, if you're wearing a dress and you have put on weight, so there is a pico do, a little split in your dress, you need to put pins and stuff to put it back again. So elephants don't bite, but mosquitoes do. So little problems can sometimes spoil the entire impression of your dress. So avoid showing too much skin, which I've already told you. So as I say, there you are, ready to take on the world, but you're still not dressed unless you wear a wonderful smile, which is a part of your body language. And again, it's a huge topic, but it's important that you wear that smile to look more graceful, more nicer. And remember that your clients or people you are dealing with, their brain is like a wet cement. Whatever falls on it makes an impression. So when we are making impression 24/7 to people around us, whether it is professional life or it's or a personal life, see to it that the impression you make on people is as grand as the position if you have, or as grand as you want to project your image to, because image in today's world really matters. How you're packed really matters. So don't take this subject so lightly that you combine your official dress to your daily wear. No, be careful of what you are picking up. Be conscious where you're working, what is the organization, and what is the best message you want to give to people through your dress. So that brings me to the end. And in case you have any questions, I am now open to questions. Thank you for listening. Thank you.
Awesome. This was really
Thank you so
brilliant.
much.
This was really brilliant. In fact, viewers, you can start shooting the questions. We are definitely over the time, but definitely we are there. We can answer all your questions. Don't worry about it. Ma'am, your few words really mattered. I
Thanks.
was just
You
taking my
see,
notes,
in power dressing, there is a very nice saying. It says, before you speak, your image speaks. So if your image itself is not impressive,
Yes,
people may not even want to talk to you. So it's important that and when you're dressed well, you
yes,
feel confident. It automatically comes to you.
definitely. Because that is where you said the very bottom word, impression, and impression is about the impact. If you're not having that impact, the whole value is gone, right? So even when you I connect a little bit with photography also, because I'm a chota mota photographer also. When you said that click the picture with the eyes, that was brilliant, because that is what is stored. Like we click in the camera, it is stored, it stays. It will not get deleted, it stays. We can take the second shot, third shot, fourth shot, hundreds of shots, but the impression we get from the first shot, everything starts with
And
that.
see, if you take an example of certain film stars, let's say Gulshan Grover ji, he plays a negative role, and now that he went to Hollywood and he changed his role to more positive role, and he's changed his attire to business
Correct.
wear, people still call him a bad man because they remember the impact of the dresses or the costumes he was wearing in his film. So that's why I said it's very difficult to change your first impression or the impression which is left on the mind of people.
Yes. Yeah. And with this data which you shared is really, really great. The visual is 55%, voice is 38%, and the listening is just 7%. That's brilliant. So let me see. There are some questions flowing in. I'll just change this to a slightly bigger one, so that's bigger on the screen. Okay. Okay. Hello, Kamlesh ji. Good to see you. Sandeep ji. Wonderful session. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kanika. Thank you, Lipsa. Okay, there is something. Okay, fine. Please advise, should the dresses resonate with the season, very hot or cold, along traditional like Bengali, Tamil? I love the nature of customary dresses in offices. Gulf people and African people love their traditional dresses. It's about like power dressing versus the traditional dresses.
True. First question was that about the weather. Yes, there are certain guidelines which I didn't cover today. The guidelines are, one is dress up according to the time of the day, because the colors also have vibrations, and it's very important to pick up according to the time of the day, whether they are warm colors or whether they are cool colors. When we talk about those seasons, it's important that in warm seasons you pick up fabrics which breathe. So silks and stuff, if you wear in summer, you will really feel very uncomfortable. And in winter, pick up fabrics which do not breathe. And that is why you also see this summer collection and winter collection. It's because how much breathable the fabric is. So you have to keep your attire accordingly in your wardrobe. This is winter and this is summer. And as far as traditional goes, again, as I said, depends from organization to organization. Some organizations are absolutely traditional and they would never allow anyone to wear anything other than that, and some are absolutely on the other side. Some people mix both the things together. So as I said, we are now very flexible with the dressing sense. Depends on the industry you're working for. Like, for example, IT people, they don't need to power dress because they're working backstage, so they can wear anything. Casuals, pajamas also will do because nobody is watching them. But if they're going to meet a client, that's where they will have to think twice what to wear. So sometimes you have to see the occasion, your age. Again, it matters what is your age group. You cannot be wearing very flashy things according to your age. So
I was, ma'am, in IT industry. I remember when I used to go to the place like UK. I had to have the tie on and with a crisp black suit. And when it was in US, it was okay, without a tie would also do.
Yes.
It will depend, from country to country,
Country to country, culture to culture, organization to organization, company to company, and boss to boss. It's all about bosses, yes.
Okay. Dressing sense presents our outer image, but what type of person you are actually decides once you start talking about to someone. The communication skill, okay. Is the communication skill decides your first impression, your thoughts?
If you haven't even communicated, you're just standing at the door and you just come and sit, you haven't even communicated, the mind of the person has already decided whether the person likes you or not. So there is something called, in the glamour world, we have something called walk-in interview. So where a
Yes.
person just walks in and they just look at them, and sometimes they talk and sometimes they, okay, you can leave your stuff here, we'll get back to you. All depends on first impression. Again, ma'am, I'm saying it depends on the industry. If it is a glamour world, or if it is where looks matter a lot, hospitality industry or airlines or something like that, that is absolutely on your looks rather than communication will happen. That's the second step. If they like you, they'll open up. That's what I said. बहुत नाइंसाफी किया है भगवान ने, you know, that 2 to 5 seconds मिले हैं, and that too people just look at you and make an impression, which is actually not right, which is not right.
Yeah.
ऐसा होना नहीं चाहिए. But this is how life is, and we have to accept it that this is how it
Yeah.
moves.
Okay. Times have changed. Ties are gone. They're
Very
asking
much
for you.
so. Yes, times have changed. Ties are gone. The pinks have become the whites. A lot of things have changed. But when it comes to, as I said again, when it comes to your personal choice, you decide what you want to display, what kind of an image you want to display.
Amazing. Amazing. Thank you, Sandeep ji. Okay, Sandeep ji is all. Okay, that's for you.
Thank you.
Okay, Rakesh has acknowledged your statement.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, viewers, if you have any questions, we have a couple of minutes here. Ma'am, with you on the screen, we cannot, go away like this without you telling us about the difference between the corporate world and the glamour and the pageant show and all those things. How does the power dressing matter in that world?
In corporate world, it matters, sir, but in the glamour, in the pageant world, it doesn't matter how powerfully you are dressed, but it depends how creatively you are dressed. Because
Creative.
in pageantry, we have something called style. Now,
Mhm.
you have to understand a difference between fashion and style. Fashion is something which comes and goes, but style stays forever. And you can
Yes.
say style is the extension of your personality. So, whatever I want to tell people about myself, the best way is in my style. So maybe I'm through my style, I'm showing I'm bold or I'm conservative or I'm a people's person, I'm an extrovert, I'm an introvert. So the way people dress up, it tells a lot about a person. So you can say it's an extension of their personality, because
Yeah.
even the stuff they carry, their pen, their mobiles,
Yeah.
their shoes or accessories, they have gone and picked it up personally. And you will pick up something personally, that's an extension. I get to know you through that. So in the glamour
Yes.
world, it's more about creativity and style, but in a
Mhm.
corporate world, it's more about being more professional, conservative, and the kind of authority you want to display to the position you are in at that moment.
Correct, correct, correct. The question was basically to tell the audience, we do get driven and, we look at the glamour world and sometimes we get carried away when we go to work. So there's a
Uh,
difference. Like ma'am is saying, there's a two different industries. You have to look into your role.
yeah, but unfortunately, most of the people are fashion victims. We just blindly follow what celebrities wear, but they don't realize that even they want to put some masala into the stuff they are making to look different. If they do the
Yes.
same thing like everyone else is doing, then they will not be noticed. So they will come up with
No.
something which will draw attention to it, and everybody takes it for granted. Oh, maybe this is what I should do, and they don't realize that the person who's wearing or displaying that dress, the body shape is different, the height is different, the personality is different, the complexion is different. We just go and buy the same thing blindly thinking it will suit me, and we think
Mm.
it's suiting me, but
It's
and
suiting
nobody
you.
has the guts to tell you that you're not looking nice.
You're
People are
not
very
looking
scared
nice.
to tell. If you're looking nice, they will tell you, but if you're not looking nice, they will be little conservative. Oh, yeah, yeah, you're looking nice, but they never tell you directly.
Right.
That's the
So,
problem.
Mr. Harish, your questions, your observations, your comments.
Rita, it was brilliant.
Thank you, sir.
I've always been carrying this through my walk, my dressing, and my talk. So when you score more than 90% always, it becomes a habit.
True, sir.
And power is going to be a habit for speakers. We as speakers are powerful because we carry an image. And I agree with you, those 3 seconds carry you.
True, sir.
I've been wearing the jacket or a coat always in more than all the 400, 500 sessions that I've done on stage. And now, even today, in front of the camera or the TV screen, I'm unable to shift into t-shirts or jeans,
True.
because of the image of the last 9 years as a powerful speaker who has a great voice, who communicates with power,
True, sir.
has to carry that image. So somehow I feel it's very, very important, and I resonate with you, the
Sir.
55 plus 38, and then the 7 comes when you speak,
Sir.
and you are in power, and you're in control of the audience. When you look at them with your eye contact, that power is transforming into them. That look at yourself. How soon do you want to become like the speaker? And I'm so very happy to listen to you today,
Thank you, sir.
that I learned it late in life, but I've learned it well.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. And I admire the way you yourself have dressed up yourself,
Thank you, sir.
and you carry that, and love the way you presented it today.
Thank you, sir.
And I'm going to be a fan of yours for a long time.
Thank you.
Brilliant, superb, and I'm sure that a lot of people who are listening to you today will ask themselves, do you want 55% plus when you enter the room, and 25% when you walk that 30 meters, and the rest when you open your mouth, you captured, and why were you there? You already got it before you sat on the chair. You say, yes, where can we sign the contract? We are ready to go with you. I
Sir.
loved the session, and I'm
Thank you.
proud to be here with you and
Thank you, sir.
sharing my thoughts on behalf of the people who are listening to you. I'm
Thank you.
sure they learned a lot of things today.
Thank you.
Bless you, and
Thank you, sir.
keep giving to people. They need it.
Thank
And I
you.
would love to say, 2 days we did a session with young startups, and would love to communicate to them your message in our
Ji.
next broadcast when we do. And we're going to
Sir.
have them live on stage like a similar session very soon. That
Sir.
you need to address these 3 areas, and I will share this video with them before we invite them. Very powerful, Rita. Bless
Thank
you,
you.
and thank you for coming. I am
Thank you,
honored.
sir. Thank you for having me. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you, sir.
ma'am, if people have to reach you, and can you tell us a little bit of your organization as a closing statement?
Sir, I run an academy called RIGAHAUS. If they forget the name, Rita Gangwani. So first 2 words of my name and surname. RIGAHAUS in Gurgaon. I'm in Sector 50, Gurgaon. And I also have online classes. So they can look at my site, ritagangwani.com. And I'm available on all social medias with the same name, Rita Gangwani. So if they Google, they will be able to reach me anywhere. My numbers are all over on the internet. So they would, and I personally pick up my phones, so they can call me anytime.
Awesome, awesome. That's amazing. That's amazing. And it was really a pleasure and honor to have you on our show today. I'm
Thank you.
100% sure that all our people who were listening to us have been enjoying you today. And that's like I started the show. A lot of people watch our YouTube slightly later and then reach back to us. So at the end of every program, I tend to ask the speaker, the expert for the day, how they can reach you directly, because we are just a medium.
Right, sir. Right.
So it
And
was a pleasure having you, and thank you
minute.
for your valuable time on a Sunday afternoon.
Thank you.
It's really, really educative for me. In fact, I know for sure I have bought couple of wrong shirts.
I
Thank
must
you.
confess here, Rita,
Sir,
this image of yours today is going to stay in our minds for a long, long time.
Yes.
thank you, sir. I'm honored. Thank you, sir.
And I will
Thank you,
remember that this jacket of yours is the first impression that you have made
sir.
in my mind, and I'm sure similarly on the minds of those people who have been watching and will keep watching this show repeat in YouTube and in Facebook. They will
Thank you.
capture these things and they'll remember you. And I must confess, you have something special in you. You have greatness within you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
I
Thank you,
really
Lieutenant
appreciate it.
Dr. Rita Gangwani, for
Thank
your
you, sir.
time on Sunday. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Harish, being there as always with me. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
And that's all for the afternoon, friends, from Oslaast Consulting, the new view. Until we are back with you on next Sunday at 4 p.m. with another great, powerful speaker. Stay safe, stay home.